Hello, good afternoon. My name's Sean Maffett. Welcome to a very overcast Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield. You may think it's overcast and the cloud base is quite low, and as you can see, it's a bit misty, but just over there is Vulcan XH558. And in not too many minutes, she is going to fly her last ever flight. She's going to take off from here and she's going to fly around for maybe 15-20 minutes, and then she'll land back here, and then she will have completed her second flying life. History will have been made, and perhaps I should say that I really have no idea who is watching this or listening to it, because of the extraordinary secrecy that we've had to observe about this flight today. I know that most people who are watching this will understand why we've had to do it, because if too many people arrived at the airport for this last flight, then the airport might have been closed down, and we can't have that because it's an operating civil airport. So the Trust apologises for all this rather strange secrecy and the way things have been going. But it was the only way we could be sure that she would get airborne. Now, earlier on today, the weather here was absolutely rubbish, heavy rain. And we did see this improvement coming this afternoon, so this is really about as early as she can fly. So now we're expecting XH558 to start her 4 Olympus engines before very long, and then she'll be taxiing out and taking off, and I'll come back to you then. Well, if you've just joined us, welcome to Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield. You may just be able to hear the first of Vulcan's 4 Olympus engines. They're just starting up. They've just been in touch with the control tower here at Doncaster, Sheffield. They've been cleared to start their engines. So she will be taking off within the next probably 15 minutes or so. So we'll wait until that time. Well, hello if you've just joined us, and welcome to a rather overcast Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield, and to what I would think is a very extraordinary day. The AVRO Vulcan, the only flying AVRO Vulcan, is about to make her last ever flight. And we at the Vulcan to the Sky Trust feel that we owe you an apology, because we've had to keep this secret because of the risk of people flooding in from all around the country to the surrounds of the airport here at Doncaster, Sheffield, and the airport can't take that, and the local police won't take it either. And so if they had to do something about it, if the police had to, for instance, lock the airport down, then the airport would be losing money hand over fist, and they would have to charge the Vulcan to the Sky Trust. We can't afford that money. We are a charity. We don't have that kind of money. So we've had to keep this whole event very secret today. I'm sure it seems very strange to you. I, as I say, can only apologize for that. However, she is now underway, and if you're watching this somewhere miles away and you've specifically decided not to come to Doncaster, well, thank you. That's been most important to us. And the fact that when she did her national tours, one north, one south, a few days ago, people didn't come flocking in here, then that was another very good sign, and made the airport feel more comfortable that they were going to be able to get on with their usual tasks. Now, just over there she is. She's got all 4 engines running now, and she's just doing her pre-flight checks, so it probably won't be very long before she takes off. I don't expect her to fly for more than maybe 15-20 minutes. She won't go anywhere, and she'll land back here, and that will be the last ever landing of a Vulcan. So please stay with us. Well, hello, if you've just joined us, welcome to Robin Hood Airport Doncaster, Sheffield, where for the last time Vulcan XH558 is about to taxi for runway 02. She's just been talking to the control tower and she's received permission to taxi. So today is a lot of last events, and that will be the last taxi call, although actually that isn't perhaps altogether the truth, because when she finishes flying she will do some fast taxiing, so maybe she'll taxi permission in the future. But all of the ground crew, all of Taft Stone's magnificent men have done their work, and the marshaller is there, so any minute now the noise of the engines will power up a bit, and there she's moving. Vulcan XH558 taxis out from her stand, quietly and in a dignified and majestic fashion. As the jets turn away from us, that deep rumble fades away, but of course we shall have much more sound when she turns onto the runway. So just a few minutes from now then, the world's only flying AVRO Vulcan will take off for her final flight. This extraordinary aeroplane, the giant delta-winged Cold War bomber, has captured hearts and imaginations since the prototype AVRO 698 first took to the air in 1952, 63 years ago. And when she touches down, after a few more precious minutes, a remarkable chapter in British aviation history will close. She was returned to the skies in 2007 after what's probably the most ambitious engineering heritage restoration ever. And when she took off on her second maiden flight 8 years and 10 days ago, it was against a positive deluge of people saying it couldn't be done. Well, since then, our gorgeous Vulcan has flown for 346 flights, 346 hours, on 228 flights. And not only was the engineering that achieved that momentous event amazing, but none of it could have been done without some absolutely extraordinary fundraising. She's cost more than £23 million since then, and what was partly contributed to by the Heritage Lottery Fund. I'm just listening to a radio call discussing what she's going to do. She's going down the runway and she's going to I stopped there because I'm listening to what they're saying. She's now been cleared to climb after takeoff to 5,000 feet and then descend back down towards the airfield. She's going to take off on runway 02. As you can see, she's taxiing down to our right now, and she'll turn round at the end of the runway and take off from right to left. So back to this extraordinary fundraising, £23 million. Heritage Lottery Fund gave some of it, but most of it came from people like you. So a huge, an enormous thank you for all that you've done. He can't be at Doncaster today, despite having devoted nearly 20 years to ensuring there's been a Vulcan in our skies. He could no longer put off a vital heart operation. He was admitted for surgery today. Chairman of the Trustees, John Sharman, has paid tribute to Robert's extraordinary energy and vision. He says, on behalf of everyone who's enjoyed seeing XH558 fly, I wish Robert the very best of luck. And I thank him and his team and everybody who's generously supported the project for giving us 8 years with this beautiful, powerful, agile flying machine. Rob, I'm sorry you're not here today. We are thinking of you. And finally, before she turns round at the end of the runway, I should say perhaps one more time, that we're really sorry at the Trust that we haven't been able to invite lots of people to see this momentous occasion, this final flight. And it's a shame that we've had to be so secretive about the whole thing. But as I was saying just now, as I'm sure most people know, we can't run the risk of overrunning this working civil airport at Doncaster, Sheffield. And we thank you for not coming here today. But I do hope that you're able to get the next best thing out of this live streaming, which comes to you courtesy of Plains TV. Well, Vulcan has been asked to say when she's ready for departure, which I think will be quite soon. I'm looking across to the far side of the airfield. I can see there are quite a few spectators around there, but perhaps, let's hope, not too many. But looking up to the sky, that's an awful lot better weather than we expected earlier in the day. That great clump of rain went trolloping through not many hours ago, and it didn't look as if we'd be able to fly at all today. And it wasn't exactly as forecast either. I was watching the weather radar, and this great lump of rain that was over London came galloping up the A1 and passed over us, dumped quite a lot on us, and then Vulcan is just getting her departure instructions, which will clear her to climb out from takeoff and then to come back down towards the airfield. Crew today: Bill Ramsey, Martin Withers, and 2 air electronics officers, Phil Davis and Jonathan Lazari. Those 4 have the honour of conducting the last ever Vulcan flight. And indeed, the last flight of a 4-engined, all-British jet aircraft. There will be no more after today. You may be able to see intense media interest in this. We've had to swear the media to secrecy because we dare not let out the fact that she was going to fly today, because we knew we'd be inundated. So that's why everything has been so secret right up till the last moment. And we even went through a special starting procedure, which I've not seen before. The crew climbed into the aeroplane inside the hangar, and they did their pre-starting checks, and then she was towed out. And this is a much quicker way of doing it than she has been used to doing, where she's normally towed out and then the crew get on board, and it all takes a lot longer. So the plan was not to take too long about it, so that not too many people would try and come here. But the sun is even starting to peep through now, which is quite extraordinary. So Vulcan has been cleared for her takeoff, her last ever takeoff. And perhaps it's worth thinking about. I was looking at her in the hangar today and looking at the extraordinarily beautiful shape of the wings when they're seen edge on. And I thought, when we didn't know whether she was going to fly or not, I wonder if those graceful, beautiful wings will actually lift her off the ground more time. Vulcan is cleared for takeoff on runway 02. So, listen for the sound. I can't see her from here. I expect you can. But we shall see her fairly soon. She's away down to our right. And she'll be taking off out of sun, but with the sun behind her, which is rather nice. It's been a long day's waiting, and a lot of people have been very patient. So, Vulcan is rolling. XH558 is on the move. Savour this extraordinary moment. You'll be glad to hear, perhaps, that I don't intend to say anything much while she's flying. We'll just enjoy the sight and the sound together. So Vulcan has just been cleared to do a run-in and brake. That means running down the runway and braking hard left into what they call the downwind position, which is the opposite direction to the runway but parallel to it. Now, of course, Robin Hood Airport, Doncaster, Sheffield. This amazing aeroplane is about to land for the last time. You will never see this happen again. It's a day of astonishing emotion here at Doncaster, Sheffield. She is the most popular airplane in the country, and millions of people have taken her to their hearts. The braking parachute streams. Vulcan's 18 wheels are back on terra firma. So our wonderful, big, beautiful, majestic old lady, rock star, goddess of the skies, is finally grounded forever. And perhaps you know what I'm going to say next. I've said it before, but I do want to quote the wonderful children's author, Dr. Seuss, who said, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened." If you can't manage that, and I suspect one or two people can't, at least a little smile through the tears. The day's proceedings are not yet over. I can see out in front of me 2 big fire engines. I'm waiting for Vulcan to appear round the corner from the far end of the runway down to our right. And she'll come home to a proper salute when she taxis in back to the stand that she left a few minutes ago. Well, there's a little hold up in the proceedings. Vulcan is being held in her present position down to our right. She will be back with us, though, before very long. Well, finally, Vulcan has been cleared to continue her taxi back to her stand, number 16, where a small reception committee awaits her. And there she is, appearing, taxiing along back towards us. You can just hear the sound of her engines as she taxis, nowhere near full power, of course. Landing lights on. One of the reasons she had to wait was that they needed to get 2 vehicles off the runway with people who had been filming from the runway's edge. They need to be back here for when she taxis in. So they have now all arrived, and so too will our grand old lady of the skies, or late of the skies. She turns back towards us. She'll turn again and then turn right into her parking place. A lovely symbol there from the fire service of Robin Hood Airport Doncaster, Sheffield, perhaps symbolic of the many tears that have been shed this day. 8 years and 10 days since this magnificent aeroplane took to the skies for the first time since she left the Royal Air Force at Bruntingthorpe. 8 years and 10 days later, she has now landed. And a final little bow from our very own XH558. Beautifully flown for us today by Martin Withers, DFC, Bill Ramsey, and with the Air Electronics officers Jonathan Lazari and Phil Davies. And of course the people not on board, but you can see most of them by the aeroplane. Taff Stone, the crew chief and the chief engineer. 558's my baby, he says. 7 engineers who daily work miracles. Sam Evans, Ray Watts, Rick Lee, Mark Brown, Steve Hand, John Hupton, and Tony Hunter, who also has had to go. So she's not here, but she, as always, has been mum to all of them. So really much too young to be mum to any of them. That is the completion of 346 hours on 228 flights. So there it is. It's over. And this, I suppose, obviously, has been the last of my commentaries for Vulcan. It's number 99. I never did make 100. So from me, Sean Maffett, if you have been, thank you for listening. From me and 558, bye-bye.